Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is the master of hype, Snowbike Mike.
Young King, what up, big dog? Bless, it's great to see you. I'm happy to be back at the desk talking video games, and most importantly, talking life with you before the show. I love always chopping it up with you. We don't get much time together. Good thing we skipped that Lil Wayne concert because it turned out to be a dud. But
was it bad?
yeah, I don't know if you saw.
No.
Walked out on the LA audience. So the day after he went down to LA, walked out 30 minutes into a set, just said, see you, everybody.
Was that the one? Because I saw some reports about a Lil Wayne concert where people weren't giving his other acts the respect.
That's the situation.
I feel like that's on Lil Wayne though.
That's on Lil Wayne.
Nobody's going to a Lil Wayne concert to see just the
You don't
nobody
bring out
names.
3 duds in the middle of a
He's like,
Fireman.
here's Corey Guns.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not here for Corey Guns. I'm here for Lil Wayne.
So I am glad that we saved the money on that one. We now turn our focus to Drake, you and I, and we spend a lot of money at Drake.
You and I am not going to that Drake concert. As much as I would like to go to a Drake concert, I have plans, Mike. I have weddings and things to do around that time. I think Evo might be happening around that time too.
I can't wait for you to go to Evo. Like,
Same.
truly and honestly, everybody send blessing to Evo. I cannot wait for that because I want to hear all about the experience. I want to see the hype, and I want you to come back with a dope custom fight stick. That's what I want.
I want one of those. I missed my opportunity last Evo because I was going to go to Evo last Evo, but the Disney Marvel Showcase happened, and I had to, later in that week, go down to record that, and so I ended up saying no to Evo because I was too scared of getting COVID. And when I didn't go, I saw a lot of other press and media folks end up with the custom fight sticks because there was a brand down there that was doing their thing, and they're inviting press to come and help them create their fight sticks. And I saw that, and I was like, damn! And in my email, I got hit up by the dude, like by the PR contact that was doing that stuff. He was in my email, and I had to be like, sorry, man, I'm not able to make it to Evo, whatever. Like, I could have had a custom fight stick. I could have been balling.
All right, so let's say you go to Evo. Of course, custom fight stick is high on the priority list, but you sit down, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to partake in one of the many game tournaments. Which fighting game are you stepping up to the sticks at?
Street Fighter 6.
That's the one.
Yeah. I think it's going to be not an even playing field because, of course, people have been playing Street Fighter 5 and all the other Street Fighters for as long as video games have been around. But I think because of the newness, because it's the new hotness, there's going to be this level of, all right, like, we're on the same level. Like, everybody's into it. Like, we're all coming into it at the same time. And then also, like, I'm planning to live and breathe Street Fighter 6 when it comes out. I want to make that my thing. I've been antsy, Mike. Every single day, there's been a point where I've been thinking about the fact that, man, I wish I had Street Fighter 6 right now so I can be playing that. Because fighting games are just fun. I had that season with Guilty Gear Strive when that came out a couple years ago, and then I get on and off for Guilty Gear Strive. But when I'm in it, it is the best feeling in the world. Just logging online, going through the ranked challenges, streaming, having a good time. I love that experience so much of ranking up in fighting games and PvP games like that. And so, yeah, Street Fighter 6 is the one I'm looking forward to right now. And Street Fighter 6 would be the one I was doing. If I didn't do Street Fighter 6, then I'd probably do Guilty Gear Strive. But I would probably lose very quickly in Guilty Gear Strive. I'm good. I'm not Evo good.
If Street Fighter 6 lands this online component, right, that you and I saw, like the cool, like, hey, I'm running around the arcade vibe. What they call that again? Did they have a name for that?
Yeah, they did. It's like the lobby. I forget
Whatever that lobby is, if they nail that, if they make that fun and unique and cool to just run around and vibe in, then I would give more time to Street Fighter 6. Because I like what you and I saw. I was interested in the idea of, like, oh, Blessing is on a hot 10-streak win right now. He's at the table. We're watching you and some other jabroni on the cabinets. And if they could put your gameplay up on the big screen and me and 20 kids are all looking up in the virtual world, like, I'm into that, Bless. So I really hope that team nails, like, this cool online world you can live in and hang out with, because I think I would spend some time.
What we got to do is we got to convert the office space into just a fighting game arcade, right? We got the big TV out there. We got two big TVs out here.
Got TVs.
Just have a permanent PS5 that is at one of the big TVs, probably the one with the couch. Have 2 fight sticks that are just permanently out there, and make that the Street Fighter
people
station.
go to work.
Because I think I'm going to be into it. I think you're going to be into it. I think Tim's going to be into it. We can get Andy into it.
Kevin's trying to make that a fun
Kevin can make that happen.
So,
Kevin can make that happen.
We can make that happen. We got to get to finalize it some Street Fighter art, whether it's a life-sized like pop-up figure
like
of
that.
Ken and Ryu, or if it's just a poster that we put under that TV. I don't know. We gotta have something that is Street Fighter though.
I like that.
You know?
Well, we'll get a photo
some
of you
pizzazz
at Evo, and then we'll all know what we're working towards because you are our champion that we put
It'll
up.
be me holding up the trophy, the Evo
like
trophy.
that. I like that.
I'm gonna take it from Idom. Mike, enough about Evo, enough about fighting games. Let's talk about today's stories, which include Ubisoft increasing Assassin's Creed developers, Sega looking into adapting more IP to film, and more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindafunny.com/you'rewrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. Remember, you can use Epic Creator Code Kinda Funny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases like Rocket League and Fortnite to help support the channel. To be a part of the show, head to kindafunny.com/KFGD to get your questions read on the show. And remember, patreon.com/kindafunny will get you the show ad-free, plus a bevy of bonus content. Housekeeping for you. On this Friday, May 19th, we're celebrating Kev and Mike's birthdays with a special subathon marathon stream. We're going to get in our PJs, build a fort, and go late if you wanted to. Come join us for some snacks, some games, and some sleepover vibes.
Blessing, really quick.
Yeah.
Let's pause. Let's park the bus for
a second.
Give me some of your favorite sleepover vibes. Because I'll tell you what, I've had some great ones back in the day. I think of my good friend AJ Tesorero's basement. Gina always had all the snacks, but we'd go down there and just shred Guitar Hero. Like, he was one of my only friends that had the plastic guitars, and a couple of those ones were just late night message in a bottle sessions. Bless, I was killing it on that game.
Hell yeah.
What are some of your favorite sleepover vibes?
It was always video games, like of course local multiplayer video games, or anime. I remember watching through a bunch of episodes of Dragon Ball Z with the homies during one sleepover, and then there was another one that I remember vividly of. I was such a Budokai 1, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 fan as a kid. I had a friend named Avery, went over to his place. Like his dad and my dad were like best friends. And so like there was one time where I was hanging out, they were like, yeah, like, sleep over, do whatever. And he had Budokai 3 and I hadn't played Budokai 3 yet. And so we just played the entire campaign of Budokai 3 as different characters and just had a good time. And that like blew my mind, because Budokai 3 was the one where you got to play as the character and hover around the world and fly around and discover things on the map, and I just thought that was a really cool time. And then also that was the one that added dodging and shit, and that was really cool.
Love that,
was
man.
Really cool.
So yeah, we're gonna capture some fun sleepover vibes. Of course, we might try some new things with the bar, maybe a timer, of course, to just let you fill it up and let us stay for as long as you'd like. Me and Kevin might take this wall, cut it in half, put 2 Zelda gameplays up on it, just zone out for hours.
I thought you meant literally cut it in half.
Oh,
And that made me
get
really
a chainsaw,
this thing right in half,
destroy the studio.
But yeah, we're gonna have some fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, we want to capture the sleepover vibes. We got tents, we got forts. Maybe go do something bad that Nick won't like out in the parking lot by grilling up burgers and stuff. So we're gonna have some fun.
Hell yeah.
He said no fires, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We can get around that.
See no campfires.
And then remember, only on YouTube in the live stream, there's going to be a 30-minute post show where I believe, is it Andy that's going to come through and hang out with us, or is it just
Maybe I think it's just going to be you and I, to be honest with you, because Andy should have the day off. So I think it's just going to be you and I.
Well, me and Mike are going to hang out, talk to you guys and your super chat questions, answer your super chat questions. So write in, give us super chats. We're going to talk to you guys after the show for that 30 minutes. Stay tuned after today's handshake for that. And then over on Patreon, we're about to record part 2 of me and Tim's breakdown of GQ's top 100 video games of all time list. That episode of Shit List will be going up this week. Thank you to our Patreon producer, Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 7 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Before I even get into it, Mike, have you gotten a chance to check out the GQ list? The top 100 games?
No, I haven't. I was going to talk about it with Jeff Grubb this week on the Xcast. We record this Friday morning.
Jeff Grubb on the Xcast.
Yeah, me, Jeff Grubb, and
snap.
Paris. It's going to be a really fun time. Actually got a dope lineup of guests. Can I talk about it really quick?
Yeah, talk about it.
This coming 3 weeks, right? We're coming hot off of the Phil Spencer interview. This week, I got Jeff Grubb. Next week, in the studio, Ryan McCaffrey, one of my all-time gaming heroes, will be here, which is pretty special. Then the following week, Big Red, Andrea Renee will be on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
So got
dude.
a nice little lineup of like, hey, let's bring some guests. Let's have some fun. Let's just kick it. So, yeah, we're riding the high off of Phil Spencer. I thought, let's get the Grubb man himself.
Heck yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm excited about that. But I haven't looked at the list, Bless. I know you contributed to it.
Yeah.
But I haven't looked at it.
I did, Andy did, Janet did, Paris did, right? Like a good handful of kind of funny got to influence this list, and then
Greg and Tim were asked.
a good handful of kind of funny just ignored the emails. Mike might have been asked.
Yeah, they probably were like, we can't ask Mike because he's just gonna write Halo, you know?
Just Halo for
Exactly.
1 through
We're gonna
10.
respond in a year.
Yes, Bear, you know it.
But yeah, it's been really fun just hanging out, looking through that list. And so yeah, me and Tim did the 100 through 50, and we're gonna do 50 through
That's
number 1.
fun.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. What were some standouts that you can tease us with to go watch that shit list episode? Like, give me 1 or 2 standouts where you're like, oh, I was blown away that was on here.
That's a good question. I believe Zelda 1, I think, was somewhere in that 50 to 100 range, which isn't necessarily like a surprise or standout, but that's one where I'm always curious on where that lands, because it's a Super Mario 1 thing where that game is so pivotal and so special. And maybe I'm thinking of Mario 1, but like these games are so pivotal and so special for what they brought to the table in terms of beginning these fantastic franchises, even though I know Mario has lineage before Mario Brothers, but you guys get what I'm talking about. But then you have other entries into the franchise that come through, and it's like, all right, we know Link to the Past or Ocarina or Breath of the Wild is going to be top 30. We know that Mario 3, Super Mario World, Mario 64 is going to be higher than this. Where are you going to put the OG? Like, where does that stand in the lineage and the importance? So that's the thing that I always like seeing.
I like that.
There's some, Tim ass Final Fantasy games in there. That's always fun. Eco was another one that I thought was going to be higher on the list.
That's the dolphin one.
No, that's Echo.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm learning things every day.
No, that's Echo. That honestly, that's a fair mix up to make. Because but like Echo's the Sega Dolphin game. Eco is the PlayStation 2 game from Team Eco, the developers of Shadow Colossus and The Last Guardian. It was their original game, and it was the first one to come through, give us that kind of art style, give us that kind of like weird, different story where they're speaking in an unknown language, and it has like this mythic feel to it. And yeah, like I fucking love Eco. So many people love Eco. It's in that same vein of something like Journey, or like that kind of like artsy, experiential kind of thing. I thought it was gonna get higher. I don't know. I at least on my personal list, I would have liked to see it higher than it was.
Okay, that's great. I mean, I love that, and I think it's always cool. I always love seeing a good list. I love that you host the shit list with Tim. I think it's a fun show. But like, yeah, I love when they gather a bunch of games media, awesome people, influencers, whatever you want to call them, to talk about video games and give me your top 100. I'm excited to always see that.
Oh yeah. Tune in, patreon.com/kindafunny and Kinda Funny Games if you want to hang out with us on the shit list and go through the top 100 games of all time as decided by the industry as a whole. For now, let's talk about Ubisoft. For story number 1, Ubisoft plans to increase the number of Assassin's Creed developers by 40%. This is Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle. Ubisoft has said it's planning to significantly increase the number of developers working on the Assassin's Creed franchise in the next few years. Quote, as part of our progressive reallocation of resources, we notably plan to increase the number of talents working on the Assassin's Creed brand by over 40% over the coming years, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot said on Tuesday. The next entry in the long-running series will be Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is set to release during Ubisoft's current fiscal year ending on March 31st, 2024. Mirage is one of 6 upcoming Assassin's Creed games discussed during a Ubisoft product showcase last September. The next flagship series entries after Mirage are codenamed Red and Hexy and will be released as part of the new Assassin's Creed Infinity franchise hub. Red, which is being made by Assassin's Creed Odyssey studio Ubisoft Quebec and has the same creative director, is set in feudal Japan. It'll be followed by Ubisoft Montreal's Hexy, which reportedly revolves around witch trials during the latter stages of the Holy Roman Empire. Ubisoft is also working on a standalone Assassin's Creed multiplayer game, the China-set mobile game Assassin's Creed codename Jade, and another mobile series entry with Netflix. Mike, bring me up to speed on your Assassin's Creed experience here.
I'm an OG Assassin's Creed guy. I think I fell off when we started getting anything after Black Flag is when I started falling off. So like Unity, what was the other one? Remember they released Black Flag and another one at the same time.
Rogue.
Yeah, Syndicate, Rogue. Like that's when I fell off. Got back in on Origins because I loved that setting. That really drew me in, that Egyptian setting, because I love the Mummy movies. So like I thought I would have a little more fun with that. But I like what they've done so far. Not really committed to Valhalla. Was not into that kind of style. Didn't like that setting. But yeah, I'm an OG Assassin's Creed guy. I love Assassin's Creed. And it's funny, I hear that and it's like, oh, this is exciting.
Okay, that's because that was going to be my next question. We talk about Ubisoft a lot on this show.
Yes, we do.
They're one of the big publishers. But they're a publisher that seems to be in a really interesting place right now. We've seen quite a few weird, different kind of attempts at games like Roller Champions or Rainbow Six Extraction or what was the one that Riders Republic?
Riders Republic, yeah.
We've seen quite a few of those. We've seen the X Defiance get announced. We've seen the Hyperscapes come and go, right? But we've also still seen them put out the Far Cries of the world and put out games like the last Mario and Rabbids, right? Like Ubisoft is in this interesting place of having their known quantities that they're able to put out and people flock to, things like Assassin's Creed, but then also just having the weird games that they put out there, and it's like, okay, these aren't hitting the way we want them to hit. For you, is the answer in Assassin's Creed, is the answer focusing all your effort, or at least a larger portion of your effort, toward the Assassin's Creed franchise, because that's your mainstay, that's your thing?
Yeah, I'm pleased with that. On a business side of things, right? You got to chase the money, and we know what the moneymaker is, and that is Assassin's Creed. There's some other franchises that we can list, from Far Cry, and Watch Dogs is kind of in the mix. I'm not a big Watch Dogs guy, but like they have their heavy hitters, right? And you have to support that. You have to continue to make the money to allow for fun creativity. And I am impressed. Like, you listed a bunch of games there, right? And it's like, hey, that's impressive for Ubisoft to take shots. Sure, some of them don't make it, some of them miss, but some of them find a little niche audience and make some fun, right? For Honor, you think about, For Honor is stuck around somehow, and like people like that game. So I do respect Ubisoft for trying new things and letting people get a little creative underneath that umbrella, right? Because it could just be Assassin's Creed all the time, make money, call it good. It could be easily a Call of Duty situation over with Activision, but they let people have some fun, which I respect.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed person. You know, I tried to come into the franchise early for whatever reason. It just didn't stick as much. And when it comes to the Ubisoft open world, it can be so hit and miss, and mostly miss for me. Where I loved Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 was my jam.
Great one.
I played a lot of Far Cry 4, and I think I just ran out of steam in terms of my excitement there, right? Where I picked up Far Cry 5 afterwards and was just like, I can't do it anymore.
Did you do 6?
I didn't do 6. I didn't even pick up
6 is the best Far Cry since 3, in my opinion.
Really?
I think it fell off on 4 and 5, I agree, and then New Dawn and Primal, right? None of those kicked on for me, but I'm telling you, 6 was a good time. I was impressed with what the team did with 6. It felt like 3 again to me, where it was like, oh, this is a fun time. I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah, and when I'm looking at the other big Ubisoft open world games, yeah, I look towards something like Watch Dogs, and Watch Dogs I've given a couple of tries to. I picked up all 3 Watch Dogs. Now I think about it, you know, I picked up Watch Dogs 1, 2, and 3. All 3 fell off. Couldn't do it. Like, they didn't grab my attention as much. And then yeah, Assassin's Creed. It's been a while since I've picked up Assassin's Creed. I am very curious for Assassin's Creed Red. That is the one where...
That's the one I think all the players have been asking for, right? Take me to Japan. Make me a samurai. Let's have fun doing that. Like, I think that's what everybody's been begging for since the beginning, and we're finally now, like, getting towards that. Is pretty exciting to hear.
That's the one I want to pick up. Even Assassin's Creed Hexia also, I think the setting there sounds really interesting, and I'd be down to give that a try.
Is that the Witch Trials one?
That's the Witch Trials
one. Yeah, that one sounds interesting, too, because, like, you could start getting into like some weird magic sorcery, not like full sorcery, but like almost Resident Evil Village vibes with like the scary witch daughters.
Yeah,
that's what I'd like to see in that. Like, I could get down.
I want to see some supernatural weird shit in that, you know, because I think you have a lot of opportunity to figure that stuff out. But yeah, my read on this is them, of course, refocusing, as we've talked about, the turbulence of Ubisoft. A lot of misses been happening recently.
Yeah,
but
you got the big mainstays. I think that's the catch with Ubisoft. It's like The Division, Far Cry, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed. They're all making plenty of money where you can have some misses, right? And you got to at least let this team try and make something. Also, we're going to talk about Dance Central or whatever that dance game is that they've always had. Just Dance.
And they have like the Rocksmiths of the world.
Oh,
they have a lot of like low-key
They got teams that make money. That's right, yeah.
And I think that stuff is always going to be there, and that stuff is going to be what keeps Ubisoft afloat. I do like the idea on the business side of them going, yeah, let's put in more resources into Assassin's Creed, make sure that this franchise stays strong, and make sure that with this Assassin's Creed Infinity idea that we have, we keep with the consistency, we keep putting out games at a decent pace, and we make sure that Assassin's Creed is our biggest franchise and is a franchise that's a mainstay in the video game world. I think jumping off of this, there's another interesting thing here. Shinobi602 put up a tweet talking about a bit of what Ubisoft's been talking about in the same financial call, where they talk about their upcoming fiscal year 2024 games lineup. And fiscal year 2024, for reference, is from April 2023 up until March 2024. So like over the next 11, 12 months just about. Their game output looks like this. Assassin's Creed Mirage, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, Rainbow Six Mobile, The Division Resurgence, Skull and Bones, The Crew Motorfest, X Defiant, and then another large game. And I think this is very fascinating because this is a pretty good year, good to decent year in terms of looking forward. Of course, Skull and Bones, I don't know anybody that's excited about Skull and Bones, but
I was excited about Skull and Bones until they started humping that tree to gather lumber, and I was like, you know what, you lost me.
Yeah, for me, it's the fact that
you lost me.
It was I wanted more of a Sea of Thieves. Oh yeah, I'm running around the boat,
I
manning the
know,
boat in a
right?
different way.
Yeah,
Like, you're
Assassin's
playing
Creed
as
Black
the boat
Flag,
in this
but
game.
yeah. Also, didn't even bring up Rainbow Six Siege, another hit from them that's just always continued to be big. Like, man, a lot of games from this team that I'm impressed with.
So yeah, like I think a new division sounds exciting. The Crew Motorfest, I think, looks pretty good. You know, I think that's going to come out and probably do what the Crew usually does, but they've done this trailer is enough to get me into it because it looks like they're taking more of a Forza Horizon turn for it, which I'm super down for. X Defiant was a nice surprise when we played the beta that came out recently.
Yeah,
I think that might be a decent.
That one I took a turn on where I was like, you know what, I'm having a good enough time with.
Yeah.
I think it's tough in the first person, third person, whatever. We'll just call it the shooter genre, right? Like there's a lot of competition in there, and we're all fighting for your time, whether it be a team arena, a battle royale, whatever game you like. There's just so much going on there, but it is nice to see fresh takes and people try. Sure, it might live for 6 months, it might live for a year, but at least we get something fresh in this world.
Yeah.
Or else we're going to be playing Call of Duty all the time.
So the big thing that stands out to me is another large game. And for Ubisoft, what does that mean?
It's got to be.
What do you think it is?
Splinter Cell. When are we getting Splinter Cell? Right? Like you go down the list, another large game. I don't know, right? Is it another giant Ubisoft open world game? Maybe, probably. I'm not sure. But
Could be like another Far Cry. Could be another Far Cry spinoff.
When are we getting Splinter Cell? Another Far Cry spinoff? Yeah.
We got Primal, we got New Dawn.
Star Wars, are we still waiting on that one, right?
Here's the thing. I think it's Star Wars.
Okay.
I would bet money that this is Star Wars they're talking about.
Yeah.
At the top of the year, there were some folks at Ubisoft on Twitter talking about how they can't wait to start talking about the Star Wars game, and that I believe they were like, you can look forward to us talking about it this year.
Well,
I would think that that's gonna be the highlight because it's been a few years. That's I forget the name of the studio, but that's the Division team that's working on that one. Massive, thank you. Massive's working on it. That is like when you're talking about a Ubisoft that is trying to refocus and go, what is going to work for us? What is going to sell? What is going to make us money? I think you start to lean out. I have the Wikipedia open with like their upcoming games and stuff, right? And it's like, you know, you have the Beyond Good and Evil out there.
Remember when that guy asked me to make a bunch of graffiti and music for their game, and then I never saw him again?
Are you talking about Robin from The Dark Knight Rises?
Oh yes. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. The best part is I was there at that one. That was my first ever E3. I got to go, and I'll never forget that guy. But the best one, Johnny Bernthal. He came out with the dog to go show off Wildlands.
I love John Bernthal.
What a cool time that was.
I think those were 2 different years.
No, I think that was the same year.
John Bernthal, I believe, was 2019 because I remember JGL being 2018.
You're right. Yeah, he was the year before. Right. Yeah. He was the year.
And he was like, give me your art and we won't credit you, you know?
Yeah. That's what they wanted to do.
For some reason in my brain, JGL is multiple times. Like JGL is just like
maybe he came back the next year. I don't remember.
He might have came back the next year because in my mind, he's there as much as Yves Gamon is there. Like he just keeps coming out like he's literally part of Ubisoft.
But I mean,
you have those. You have the Prince of Persia's. You have like, but I think for a Ubisoft right now, what you want to talk about are Assassin's Creed and the big licensed products that you have.
Correct.
Right?
Avatar,
and Star Wars.
I totally agree because Jedi Survivor so hot right now, right? Like this is everyone wants to be in the universe. Of course, we want to be in the Star Wars universe all the time, but like ride that high this summer. Give us a teaser, right? Like at the minimum, give them a teaser because people are going to go wild for some Star Wars content for sure.
I think that'll be dope. I think that would complete a dope year for Ubisoft, which it's been a minute since we've had a definitive objective. Oh, this is Ubisoft's year right here. If you're able to, over the next year, put out a big new Assassin's Creed game with Assassin's Creed Mirage, which funny enough, I know it's supposed to be a smaller Assassin's Creed game, but you get where I'm going with that. Have Avatar Frontiers of Pandora and have that actually be good. If you're able to have The Division Resurgence, X Defiant actually come out and be good, have the Crew Motorfest, and then also have Star Wars, and it's a massive Star Wars game, and it is this fun. We don't know much about what the actual game is, but if let's say it's multiplayer, maybe somewhere along the lines of what Division was, since Division was their last game, I think that could be fire. I think that could be a hit. I'm really excited to actually see what that game is.
Yeah, I think the fans in the comments will probably give us the normal top answers, right? Splinter Cell, Prince of Persia, this Star Wars game. I'm sure there's some other ones. There will be a couple that are like, Mike, we really liked Breakpoint and Wildlands. And I liked Wildlands, didn't care for Breakpoint, but like, give us more of that. I don't think that's on the heavy hitter list that we're looking for here. But it is interesting when you go down that catalog of where they could go, or will they surprise us with something different?
We'll need to see. Story number 2. After Sonic movie's success, Sega says it can adapt other IPs for the big screen. This is Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle. Following the success of the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, Sega has said it's interested in the possibility of adapting other IPs for the big screen. Sega Sammy CEO Haruki Satomi and the CFO were asked about the possibility of making non-Sonic movies during a Q&A session following the publication of the company's full-year earnings in April. Quote, "We would like to take on challenges outside of the Sonic IP should the opportunity arise," Sega said in a newly published English transcript of the event. Quote, "If we can match the timing of game launches to the release of movies, it would be extremely effective from a marketing perspective, and there are also significant benefits, such as increasing awareness of our IP and increasing the number of touch points for customers as we achieved with the Sonic movie," end quote. Mike, what's your read on this one?
I'm not the biggest Sonic jabroni, so I don't know many of their games, but I see the chat lighting up with some. Like, for me, I go to Crazy Taxi or Phantasy Star Online, and I don't know if we're really adapting those into movies. I guess Phantasy Star, we could make some fun, but Crazy Taxi, I mean, I guess you get Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon and come back and make their taxi movie, if you remember that one, you know?
Yeah, that's a direction to take it.
That's a direction I'm
That's a
chosen.
direction.
Right.
I was gonna say, hey, I mean, Peacock's doing the Twisted Metal.
That is
if
true.
they can do Twisted Metal, I'm sure we can figure out a Crazy Taxi movie. In fact, I can see the trailer in my head for a Crazy Taxi movie. I feel like that's the least surprising thing you can do. If I see a movie trailer about a fucking taxi driver who's fucking insane and it ends with Crazy Taxi, like that, honestly would be the most video game industry thing to happen. People in chat are also throwing out Echo the Dolphin, which is really funny.
Okay. I see a lot of people saying Yakuza.
A Yakuza movie would be dope.
Okay.
That would be pretty dope. And I think they'll be able to pull that off. Persona came to mind, but I also don't think so. Like,
they already do the anime for,
yes,
or at least for Persona 4 and Persona 5. I think there was one kind of lost to time for Persona 3, but yeah, I don't know.
It's more suitable for an anime.
And even then, it's barely suitable.
Yeah, like if you came out and made a Persona movie, I think you would have to make like an original Persona
it would have to be an original
cast and story, and
which
it would be bad.
I would be down for. I think it would be better than them adapting an hour or 100-hour video game into an 18-episode anime. You know?
Yeah, but I think stylistically, it would be along the lines of Death Note from Netflix. Remember that movie?
Yeah,
with Lakeith Stanfield.
That was the only time I watched Death Note.
Why does it have to be live action? You could do a fucking
seen.
Animated movie.
Okay,
I do like
that's a good
animated
point.
movies. I would be into it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking
point.
Persona live action. No,
I was thinking live action.
Awful.
I was thinking live action, but I also think, and maybe I don't know if this is antiquated thinking. I feel like live action tends to be more revenue generating than animated. Is that still true? Is that
Mario movie's hot right now?
I mean, yeah, but like it's hot because it's the Mario movie.
Mario, okay.
You know, like yeah, Persona is not on the same level of Mario.
Okay.
Yeah, like a Persona animated movie, I think would literally be an anime style thing. Like, it would be along the lines of like a My Hero Academia type movie. And I think the fans would come through for that. I think the fans would come through for that heavy in the way that My Hero fans or other anime fans support those movies coming to theaters. But for what Sega is talking about and for the success we've seen from Sonic the Hedgehog movie, they're looking at something of that scale. They're looking to go big time with this shit. And I think with that, you got to find the right IP. I think weirdly enough, Crazy Taxi has so much nostalgia and so much name recognition from the arcade days that I could honestly see, and they're trying to bring it back. That's one of the, I think, super franchises they were talking about that they wanted to bring back. So maybe Crazy Taxi is a good one. I don't know, maybe Jet Set Radio.
It's interesting. I mean, everybody's chasing this trend right now, and it's already something like it's clearly has been tried. It is now proven it can work if you do it right. Everybody wants to hop on it. Maybe we fix Halo, the television show. Microsoft, think about that. You know what I mean? But we're going to see more video game to movie or TV screen adaptations. It's just going to happen. You just have to you got to find the winners. That's the make sure they do well.
That's the thing that worries me a little bit is that it's going to happen. We're going to see a lot more video game adaptations to film. Am I going to stop talking here? Bear's replacing the microphone, everybody. Give me a second. Is it on already? Can I keep talking? All right, cool. But yeah, we're going to see a lot more of these things happen. We're going to see a lot more video game adaptations. A lot of them are going to be bad. And the one thing that worries me in this statement from Sega is them talking about how there could be gold in aligning the video game releases up with the video game movies. And we tried that before a lot. Like with the PS2 generation, that generation where we were getting a lot of licensed games, that wasn't it. Like that's how we got a lot of stuff that was undercooked because this movie's coming out in the spring. We got to have this game done. Like we can't delay this thing. The whole reason for us doing this is so that we can align these so they can work together. I don't want that to happen because I think that's when we start getting those bad licensed games again. Man,
we lived in a wild era that was with so many licensed movie video game franchises. It was a wild time.
Yeah.
Wild time.
Is there a upcoming adaptation that you're looking forward to or that you really want? Like, is there like when you think about this upcoming wave of video game adaptations?
I'm pumped up on The Last of Us, right? Like they did a great job on HBO. They made The Last of Us a ton of fun to watch and was very engaging. I'm excited for season 2 and what they can do, right? I hated Halo. I can say that, but I do want to see what they can do in season 2. I'm sure I will hate it episode 1, right? But like, I don't know. I guess I'd have to go through the list. I always want a good Resident Evil, but I never get it. Right, like I've always wanted.
I've not watched any of the Resident Evil stuff. I know we've gotten thousands.
None
of them have been good.
I mean, they're not great. they're not great by any means.
Out of all of those Resident Evil TV shows and movies that we've gotten, there's not one that's like, oh, y'all nailed this shit. This is fantastic.
I guess not the first one. The first one was good enough, but no, not really.
People try to say all of them were bad. All of them?
They weren't great, Bless.
You had all these chances. How are none of them?
We tried.
Great?
Okay, they tried a lot, Bless. They tried a lot, and I was really hoping this most recent one was going to be the one. Mm-hmm. Remember they had
one
like
on Netflix?
They had like 2 projects going on. There was a movie and the Netflix thing going on. I thought at least one of them was going to be good. Turns out I don't think any of them were good. I don't think any of them were good, Bless.
Goodness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to see if we can finally get a good Resident Evil movie. But for now, let me tell you where you can get some good content. Over on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Of course, you got exclusive shows there like Kind of Feudy, like the S-word list, and others. I can't say it because I'm about to go into an ad, Mike. About to go into an ad. I gotta be careful about that. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
Shout out to Shady Rays for sponsoring this episode. Do you want to look as cool as I look? Yes, you do. And you can. You can take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an unbeatable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair that I've ever worn in my life. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day 1, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Exclusively for you listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. You can go to shadyrays.com and use the code KINDOFFUNNY. You can get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. You can try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Promo code KINDOFFUNNY at shadyrays.com.
Speaking of Sega, story number 3, Sega suggests it could become the latest publisher to raise game prices to $70. This is Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle. Sonic publisher Sega could become the latest game maker to start charging $70 for some of its new releases. Sega Sammy CEO Haruki Satomi and the CFO were asked about the possibility of raising game prices during a Q&A session following the publication of the company's full-year earnings in April. Quote, "In the global marketplace, AAA game titles for console have been sold at $59.99 for many years, but titles sold at $69.99 have appeared in the last year," Sega said in a newly published English transcript of the event. Quote, "We would like to review the prices of titles that we believe are commensurate with price increases while also keeping an eye on market conditions," end quote. In August 2020, Take-Two's NBA 2K21 became the first current-gen game to be priced at $70. Sony and Activision quickly followed suit by charging $70 for big new releases, followed by the likes of EA and Square Enix, with the Final Fantasy publisher even bringing the increased price point to some of its PC games. Microsoft and Nintendo released their first $70 games this month, while Ubisoft has said its long-delayed Skull and Bones will be its first $70 title.
Wow, that's wild, Buzz. We had this conversation. I guess it feels like so long ago, but it wasn't. I just assumed we were there, right? Like I was going to say, welcome to the party. Everybody else is there. But it's wild that like we're just hitting that right now, right? Like that's a wild one to think about.
I think it's part of it is on the Xbox side. I didn't realize that Xbox hadn't done it until Redfall because it was a big conversation because Redfall was not great.
Yes.
Right? People were like, this is the game that you're choosing to charge more for, right? And that's just them trying to follow the standard. That's them trying to
Correct. That's the one where
adjust.
we're moving into the next gen. We want to make this like the new
like that was going to
pricing of the
happen
new
whether it's
current gen.
Redfall or Starfield or whatever. That was going to happen. But yeah, that's when I realized that Xbox hadn't done it, and then also because of Game Pass, right? Like when I'm playing my Xbox games via Game Pass, I'm not noticing that those full price charges for that game. But then yeah, with Nintendo, when Tears of the Kingdom was announced as having a $70 price point, man, like a lot of people were taken aback. And a big part of that was that the transition to $70 came with new gen consoles. It came with the PS5 and more of the current gen publishers making that standard. And when Nintendo does it, people are like, wait, but what is the $70 for? What am I paying the extra $10 for? Is it for performance mode and other things like I'm doing this for the other consoles? And it's like, no. That's not what you were paying for with the $70. You were paying $70 because that is where we're at in the economy. That's where we're at in the video game economy. That is just what video game development is.
It's to keep shareholders happy and, lay some people off.
Exactly. That's the other thing is like, hey, how are you going to afford to,
On the flip side,
to take these people's jobs away? You got to have money for severance and stuff. But yeah, like that's just the new normal. That's where we're at now.
Exactly. That's the new normal. And when you look at their big titles, right? Like you guys brought up a bunch of them, right? Like a Dragon, you could see that being $70. All the Yakuza games, for sure. I get that. Persona, get that, right? I am excited to see more teams work the budget and, of course, work the price range. We always talk about these games that are like just middle of the road. And you're like, this isn't a $70 game. It's like a $20 to $40 game. And I like seeing teams that aren't afraid to flex that and like work where they should really be at price point wise when they release, right? That's what I'm always looking for. It's like, what is a good $30 to $40 game that justifies that price for the product that you get?
And one of the ones that I came across recently, I tried that demo for Exoprimal when the demo was up.
Okay.
And I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, damn, this game actually seems pretty good. And then I got to double check to see the price because I think I saw that game was being charged. That game was a $60 full price thing. And I was like, dude, this seems like a game that will be a hit. At maybe $30. Like this seems like a game.
Right.
And I think there are a lot of games like that. There's a lot of games where it's, dude, if you guys charged $20, $30, $40 for this thing instead of going all the way up, you are going to have a hit on your
We'd have a hit.
But $70 is such a demanding price for a lot of people because we're at a place where not everybody has the disposable income to buy things, right? Like there's a recession happening. Money is difficult. A lot of things are expensive right now. And for us as an audience, that means we got to pick and choose. But also, like maybe as a company that's trying to put out a new game, if your thing isn't on the level of a big AAA Final Fantasy 16 or Tears of the Kingdom or Spider-Man 2, maybe you could explore the $50 range or the $40 range or the $30 range. I think there's something really cool in that. There have been games during the PS4 generation that did that. I think Shadow of the Colossus came in at $50, $40, and that they totally could have charged $60 for that thing. But I think exploring that price range is going to be good for everybody involved because I think that is going to open you up to selling more units. And then Conflict.com is wrong. I try to Google. Oh no, here you go. Exoprimal on Steam. $60 for Exoprimal, which who knows? Like maybe that works for them. Maybe Exoprimal is enough of a hit where people come in at that price. But if you told me Exoprimal was $30, I'd be like, dude, that's a must buy.
See, and those are the games that we talk about, right? Those multiplayer games that you're supposed to play with your friends. Being able to sell your friend group, a group of 3 to 4 on a video game, is so much easier when it's a $30 to $40 title that's probably not going to be a great game that we're playing for a year. if I can sell you on that over a $70, hey, we got to buy this, and we're done playing it in a week.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's the issue that we're hitting a lot with these games.
And to answer somebody in chat mentioned, no way Spider-Man 2 is going to be $50. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Spider-Man 2 is going to be $70. The Final Fantasy 16 is going to be $70.
Those are 70s, yep.
Exoprimal, as much as I'm actually looking forward to Exoprimal, and I think that's good. That's going to be a pretty cool game. When many players go to stores and they're like, am I going to buy Spider-Man 2 or am I going to buy Exoprimal with my $70? People are probably going to go Spider-Man 2 more often. If you could put that out for $30 and it's, oh snap, I can afford both of these now, or oh, I only have money for one of these, I'm going to go for the cheaper option because Exoprimal seems like a fun game that I'm going to get a lot of time out of. That is the kind of difference that I'm making. I think there was a Ratchet and Clank game that might have messed with that price too. I think Ratchet and Clank the remake might have been under $60. Again, that's thekindoffunny.com/you're wrong. But I think there's a lot of value in altering the value. It's exploring the value.
I'm reminded by a great moment in my life. Hood Outlaws and Legends, where I proceeded to buy Hood Outlaws and Legends for a top dollar of $60 each for 4 of my friends. When that game, if that was just $20 each, would have been a much better deal and probably would have had way more people engaged in playing.
But let's add context there, Mike. Did any of your 4 friends ask you to buy them copies of
No, but we wanted to play the game. Or I wanted to play the game.
Okay, yeah, that sounds more right.
God. Story number 4, Stray could be coming to Xbox. This is Anthony Wood at IGN. Blue 12 Studios' cat-based adventure game Stray has received an ESRB rating for Xbox consoles, suggesting its time as a PlayStation console exclusive could be coming to an end. As spotted by VGC, the new listing on the Entertainment Software Rating Board, aka the ESRB, the website rates Stray for the Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S, unsurprisingly at the same E10 Plus rating as the PlayStation and PC versions. No official announcement has been made by publisher Annapurna Interactive or Microsoft. However, though the ESRB rating an Xbox version certainly suggests it exists. A reveal could come during the June 11th Xbox Game Showcase, though, or during the wider Summer Game Fest event, for which Annapurna is listed as an official partner. Mike, you ready to finally play Game Award Game of the Year nominee Stray?
Heck yeah. I actually have already played Stray. I really liked Stray. I love seeing it. If this does come to Xbox, I love having a new ecosystem of players, having the opportunity to play Stray. I think it's a fun, easy one where it's not a daunting 40-hour task, right? This is like, what, 10 hours maximum? It felt pretty quick, right? It was
3-4 hours.
Yeah, it was
maybe.
very short. So it's like, I like that experience. I enjoyed Stray. If you get it on Game Pass, major win. If it's not $70, also another major win, right? Like that.
There's no way
price
Stray
point
is. I forget how much
conversation
Stray is.
where we
but it's
come
not
in,
70.
right? Like if Stray is $30 on Xbox, you're getting the thumbs up, right? If it's on Game Pass, the double thumbs up.
Let's see.
If it's $70,
I think it's $30.
I'm gritting my teeth a little bit.
Yeah, the full price on Steam is $30. So I would expect it to be $30 on Xbox. And I would also, I think this would be a slam dunk for Game Pass.
Oh, it's a great one. I'm all about it.
If you have, I would imagine that this would be a like a montage joint in the Xbox Game Showcase of here are games coming to Game Pass, and they could have Stray be there as like and it's out now sort of deal. I wonder how that works. I wonder if maybe it would be July, because 11 months after PlayStation is kind of a weird time frame. I would think that if there's exclusivity there, they would go the full 12 months. And so I'll think, yeah, maybe during that montage, it's end of July for Stray coming to Game Pass, possibly.
But it's a good game. That's a good game. It's a fun game.
Solid game.
Yeah.
You know, good.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Good, I think, is a good word.
It's
for
good.
it.
It's good. It's good.
Good.
It's a top 10 Game of the Year contender for last year.
Top 10.
Yeah.
People
It
like
is
the
blessing.
cat game, bless.
Yeah, you know what? Fucking look me in my eyes. Look me in my eyes right now. It is blessing. It's a fucking great game.
It's a 10.
Made me cry a lot.
Maybe top 40. Top 40 games last year. There's a lot of games that came out last
I
year.
want you to make a top 100 games of last year list.
I got you. I almost did that, actually. I almost made a top 50 games.
There you go. You
last
should
year.
be doing that all the time. People would like that.
Stray was probably actually my top
It's just
25.
it's Journey with a cat, and y'all just
And I
fucking
think-
hate cats.
I love cats.
I was into it.
Y'all hate cats. I know it.
If anything, I hate
cats.
I hate Journey more than cats. I don't hate Journey, but you know, again, Stray and Journey, both top 30 games of the years they came.
Rank
Okay,
Miles
okay.
Morales, Stray, and Journey right now.
Oh, Miles Morales is number 1 easily.
Wow.
What a
Easily.
good time that was. That's another game that made me cry. I love
Miles Morales.
Oh yeah, bro. I get sappy at all superhero movies. I cry at the end of every single one.
Every single superhero.
Every single
This
one,
motherfucker cried at
Blessing.
the end of Eternals.
Every Marvel movie, they just get me in my feels somehow. They take me to the
Batman v
pinnacle.
Superman. This man was sobbing.
I'm just crying at the end.
Martha.
They get me every time, bro. I love them.
Every single superhero movie, he says. Story number 5. The Suicide Squad. Fucked you up.
Got
didn't
me,
it?
bro. They got me.
Will Smith's Suicide Squad is the one I'm talking about too. That's the one that got you. A new wave of Xbox Game Pass games have been revealed. This is Robert Anderson at IGN. Microsoft has officially announced its second wave of games hitting Xbox Game Pass in May. The latest blog post includes a handful of new games coming to the service in the following weeks, including the likes of Planet of Lana, Railway Empire 2, Eastern Exorcist, Ghost Lore, Cassette Beasts, Massive Chalice, and Chicory: A Colorful Tale. FIFA 23 will be coming to EA Play on May 16th, and by proxy, this also means it will hit the libraries of PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members as well. Weird West, Shadowrun Trilogy, Ravenlock, Redfall, and more were also among the first wave of releases for Game Pass in May. Amnesia the Bunker was also set to hit Game Pass on day 1 of release on May 23rd, but has since been pushed back a couple of weeks to June 6th. Mike, you're my Xbox guy.
I'm excited about that game.
About Amnesia?
Amnesia, yeah. I'm always looking for a fun, scary game.
Hell yeah,
Play a
dude.
little bit. This is a great win. I mean, I love seeing the EA Play partnership that we've had, right? I talk about it all the time on the XCast. The EA Play partnership with Game Pass is a massive win for gamers, right? Because when that sweet EA Sports title comes out that you are so hesitant to spend $70 on because you know you don't want that yearly update that you have to buy every single time, you get 10 free hours of play. Any EA title, you get the 10 free hour play session. I love that. I think it's great. And then we continue to see moments like this where a couple months down the road, guess what? FIFA, the brand new one, is now on your library and Game Pass. Like, that's a massive win. And if you could just hold out, right? If you look at yourself and go, I don't need this NBA 2K right now. I don't need this Madden right now. They have shown you year after year that they will get that on Game Pass 6 months, 7 months later, and you can just play those games. So I'm a big fan of it. I love that. Going down the list, though, Bless, I mean, I'm pretty excited about Planet of Lana.
That game looks really cool.
This is the game that I went hands-on with during GDC week. I'm very excited about this. I think it's going to give some good vibes, some chill vibes, and maybe some mysterious vibes.
Yeah, it looks
And
like
I'm excited about that.
a colorful, more vibrant inside, which I'm all about.
Yes, and then, of course, Chicory, I believe
Chicory,
Janet and
actually really
Greg talked a lot about
a really great PlayStation indie.
Really?
Unlike
Okay.
Stray.
I'm like, Stray, okay.
I'm about to come out there and
Stray
fight
just
you.
taking shots with Blessing today all
No,
day.
Chicory's fantastic. I fucking love Chicory.
But not their strongest lineup, if I do have to say. But this is like, of course, the week before we go into old E3, now Summer Games Fest mode, right? So they're probably saving the larger announcements for that, which will happen, 2 weeks later after this is all said and done at the end of May. So I'm not like going goo goo gaga over this second half of the month's announcement. They've had stronger, heavier hitters, but we're nearing Summer Game Fest time to show off these games.
Mike, would you be able to guess how much time I put into FIFA 23
Now.
since November that it came out?
You, Blessing, have probably put in, if I had to guess, 67 hours right now.
92.
Nice.
92
You're putting in
hours.
some work.
Yeah.
Can we park the bus on this for just a second?
What up?
Because I'm a big sports fan. I love all of the sports titles a lot. I get uptight about microtransactions. But what do you find yourself playing a lot of? Is it head-to-head seasons? Are you playing FIFA Ultimate Team? Are you playing maybe the big club one where you have 11 of your friends join you? Are you playing?
Man, I
just
wish
by
I had
yourself?
that many friends, Mike.
What are you doing? Yeah.
No, I'm doing the head-to-head seasons, and so it is me just ranking up, trying to hit number one, division,
Yes,
right? Trying
that's
to
dope.
up my
That's
division.
dope. Uh-huh.
And when I tell you that I just go on losing streaks, Mike, it's actually pretty ridiculous because I'll go on a winning streak of, man, I just won 9 games in a row, and then out of nowhere, and then I'll rank up. I'll be on the highest I've gotten so far is Division 2, and I've been on the precipice of finally hitting Division 1. But then I'll just get on the worst losing streak, and I don't know what it is. I'm convinced that there are shenanigans at play, Mike. I'm convinced that there is like a script in the background in the algorithms that knows that I am on a winning streak that goes.
You got to be stopped.
And yeah, I think in the code they're like, what if he misses more goals? Like, what if we're able to like?
You think it comes down to the gameplay itself, right?
I think the gameplay itself gets fucking nerfed when you win too many FIFA games in a row. I'm
like that.
convinced.
I like
Les,
that.
are you excited for the next year of Division 2 content?
The next year of Division 2 content. I mean, no. What's the joke?
Absolutely not.
I was making a joke because you're talking about getting into
'cause you're
soccer.
in the
Oh,
division.
because I'm stuck in Division 2. That's good. That's good.
I'm glad that you've put in that many hours. I have some follow-ups, of course.
What up?
Yeah, I do. It's very interesting because I think you get put into a pool as you go higher and higher. Of course, I think the boundaries get stretched of like who's really in that division playing at that particular moment with the good enough parameters for you to be matched up with. Okay, there's not enough, so we've stretched to it a higher or lower, right? So like I think there's a lot that goes into play. I do love all that. But do you think you've gotten better? Like truly and honestly, like do you think you got the skills on the sticks after 97 hours where you're like, Mike, I'm like Castro level, right? Like I watch a lot of Twitch streamers who play FIFA. Are you at that level where you're juking and jiving?
Well,
you're doing the stick? Like what do you got?
I think I'm good at FIFA, but
Okay.
I don't think I'm like amazing at FIFA. I think I'm good at as anybody else that is really good at FIFA. Because a lot of people play FIFA for a long time. That is the thing. There's so many people that are in the same boat as me where they just can't get enough of it and they play and they get to a certain level and they're just like, okay, cool. We're all really good at FIFA. I played Simon Cardy when he was here a few weeks ago and he's from he's from the UK. And so like they invented FIFA. Like they all play FIFA over there. If you're a baby, they give you a controller in your hands, they give you a FIFA disc and they're like, all right, go have fun. And like playing him, you know, he beat me for I think all of those games, honestly. And like, I think he might have put more hours, but there's so many people that are like him. There's so many people that have for the 92 hours that I put in, there's a billion people that are 200 hours, 300 hours, 400 hours. Like I know Simon's put in way more hours than I have. I know people from VDC who are again based in the UK that have put in way more hours than
FIFA is the best sports game. I'll say it right here because it is universally loved. It is the easiest to understand. You could be at any party, have two controllers on the table, and anyone, if FIFA was on, would sit down and start playing FIFA right away.
FIFA
rocks.
It's natural. It makes sense. It's addicting. The only thing that's really confusing for Americans is offsides. And once you learn what it is, it makes sense. You know, just pull back the defender. Just pull back the damn defender. You can't. Why are you all the way over there?
Well, I'm glad that you're putting in work on this. I can't wait to see your journey because I'm sure next year when we have the same conversation, you'll be even better. You'll be in Division 1 and onward, so it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Are you doing the weekend leagues?
I think about it every now and then.
You should sign up for some weekend leagues and get in there because that's where some competition is.
Okay,
that's where you're going to get uptight because your winning streak will then be ended and you'll be really uptight about it. But that's where you should go.
I'll consider it. Do you play any FIFA?
I've played a lot of FIFA. I've given them a lot of my money.
What's your team?
My team?
Yeah.
I usually play MLS just for funsies.
Okay, you're
but
if
I was playing in Europe, I usually go West Ham and/or Man U.
Okay. I've been doing a lot of Man City lately.
Okay. Because you're a City guy. I like that.
Holland has been in the news recently because he's doing records.
He's a bad boy.
Records.
Right. He's a bad.
Yeah,
boy.
he's a bad dude. I
like that.
Holland. Story number 6: AEW Fight Forever's release could be right around the corner. This is Fraser Gilbert at Pure Xbox. It looks like the long-awaited release of AEW Fight Forever could be just a few weeks away, as the full list of Xbox achievements has now been revealed. The Xbox preloads have gone live. As revealed by Twitter user Jay Barnacles, the full list of AEW Fight Forever Xbox achievements were listed on the Xbox Store earlier today, but they appear to have been removed since then. In addition, Xbox fans have found that they can begin preloading AEW Fight Forever via the Xbox app on Android and iOS, with the file size coming in at around 17.29 gigabytes. Finally, Insider Gaming has also reported that we could be looking at a late June release date for AEW Fight Forever on Xbox and other platforms, although the outlet hasn't been able to confirm this just yet. Are you looking forward to AEW Fight Forever?
Just so I can fight as MJF, who's like one of the hottest wrestlers around. He's got the wits, he's got the mic skills, he's got the in-ring skills, so I like that guy. But other than that, no. Wrestling games don't turn me on like they used to, right? Like me and my little brother used to play on the N64 all the time, and there was some fun to that. Yeah, where we just punch each other nonstop and we didn't know any of the buttons. Nowadays, you see Greg really commit to WWE 2K, and it's like, I'm not like that anymore. If anything, I take more joy in what we do with KFW, where it's, hey, let's sim some things, and we'll either see the wild moments or I'll commentate over it. But I've lost the skill, I've lost the love. But I am I'm a new wrestling fan that's kind of getting into the sport again. So maybe, but not really.
Oh yeah, AEW Fight Forever. I'll honestly probably try once. I might pick up. Maybe I'll go to Greg's PlayStation and play a few minutes of it to see what it's about. But I am so out of the loop on wrestling culture. And like WWE 2K23, I play quite a bit and I enjoy it. And a lot of that just comes from the nostalgia of, similarly to you, enjoying wrestling games back in the day and playing so much SmackDown versus Raw and SmackDown Just Bring It and some of the ones on N64 as well. I enjoy WWE 2K just for that feeling again, like going back and getting back into that world and going through the motions of. I really enjoy the I forget what it's called, the mode where they highlight one wrestler.
Oh yeah, I love those moments. The moments modes is what it's in the game.
I think it might be Showcase.
Okay.
But last year it was Rey Mysterio. This year it's John Cena. And going through that and going through the memories of, man, I remember watching this on TV, and they're picking the right wrestlers for it because they're picking wrestlers from when I was watching wrestling, and so like I really vibe with it for that. Those modes I really enjoy and I have a really fun time with, but I've not watched one AEW thing, and so I'd be so out of the loop. I know there's some people that used to be at WWE that are at AEW, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Is Chris Jericho, is he a thing?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay,
so maybe he's in there.
Does he still do
he's one of the big names. Maybe he's also on a boat a lot, I believe.
He's on a boat a lot?
Yeah, I think he does like a cruise. He like hosts a cruise ship where his band like plays music. I could be wrong, but I believe that's that jabroni. He's got the long flowing blonde hair that I remember from back in the day.
Is he still doing the finisher where he pulls people's legs back?
I don't know.
Like Jaws and Jericho, or whatever they're called. Because if he's doing that, then maybe I'll pick up AEW. We'll see. Last news story number 7. Saudi Arabia increases stake in Electronic Arts. This is James Batchelor at GamesIndustry.biz. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund has increased its stake in Electronic Arts. According to Seeking Alpha, a new filing published yesterday for 3 months, ended March 31st, 2023, shows the fund purchased more shares in the FIFA publisher during Q4 2022. Prior to Q4, the PIF held 16.01 million shares in EA, but as of the end of Q1 2023, it holds 24.81 million, an increase in 55%. Electronic Arts is one of many major U.S.-based games publishers the PIF has invested in, including Activision Blizzard and Take-Two Interactive. Like, I don't know how much you've been keeping up with this one.
No, I'm not hip on this. I don't know anything about this.
It's a really weird, really like, beyond video game news thing.
Okay.
This is like very much the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. He's been, they have their trust that invest in different organizations, right, to try and build value in his organization and in Saudi Arabia. They've been investing a lot in video games companies recently, just because they have an interest there. I think partly because the video game industry is only growing, but then also I think they just have an interest in the video game side of things.
Yeah.
It's a controversial one because there's a lot of human rights abuses over there, right? Everything from homosexuality not being allowed, right? That being illegal, and you getting in big trouble if you're breaking law over there, to then also Mohammed bin Salman allegedly having journalists killed and things like that, right? It's a very, very weird, scary, controversial one. But this is very much a story to keep people in the know of. This is the latest move in what's been happening. How do we respond to it? I don't know. When I say they've been investing in a lot of video game companies, they've been investing in a lot of video game companies. They've invested in Nintendo. They outright own SNK. There's a lot of US-based companies that they own stake in.
Wow.
And it's a lot happening, right? And like there's not really a good way to, I guess, not cover it, but like a good way to respond to it in terms of how do we stop this? Do we stop this? What are the next steps here? Like, what is going to happen to the games industry if they continue to invest in it? Very scary thing, but just keep you in the know.
Yeah, thanks for keeping me hip to that one. I don't know much about that, so thanks for putting it on my radar. That's good.
Hey man, that's what I'm here for.
You do great,
Mike. I can't wait for AEW Fight Forever. But its release, possibly in late June, is just so far away. If I want to know what's coming out to mom and pop shops today, where would I look?
Blessing, I would take you to the mat to go hang out with the two most dopest Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts, where we run you through the upcoming software that you need to know about on Kind of Funny Games Daily each and every weekday.
Yeah. I love that remix you did.
I'll do whatever I want because I don't even know what it is.
I was like, man, did you just make that up off the top of your head? That was fantastic. Out today, we got Humanity for PC, PS4, and PS5. And I'm gonna pause there for a second because I've been playing Humanity, Mike.
Looks good, Bless.
Really good game.
I'm loving it.
Really good game. Are you been playing it too?
No, I just love what we played before, and I'm glad to hear that it's a good game because I want to play a bunch of this.
I played a little bit of it in VR.
Can we talk about that? Yeah. Tell me about VR.
I had to think about it for a second. I was like, wait, can I talk about it? I'm like, no, wait, the game's actually
because IGN gave it a 9.
That makes sense.
Yeah, which is very impressive. Said the controls on the DualSense, very, very good. But then on the PSVR headset, or the controllers on the PSVR, just doesn't give you like the love and like
controllers.
it just doesn't feel good. As
I was using the DualSense controller, so I actually don't know how it feels on the Sense controllers. But the VR is actually an interesting experience because it is you looking down at these puzzle maps that you're doing, and so you have this weird God feel.
You can go up and under it. Remember when they showed Minecraft on the table and they were going all in?
Well, that's actually kind of what humanity feels like because everything is just small, and so like you're controlling your camera and you're looking down at these tiny, large groups of humans that are walking, and you're just looking down at them like you're God, and it just has this weird scale to it because sometimes the maps can be big, and so based on like what actions you're making, you can make the rows of humans jump from one side to another, and like you can kind of make multiple rows of them cross. And there was one point where I just had like a bunch of like little guys just flying all over the place, and in VR it just felt really cool. In VR, I was like, "Damn, this is really dope."
Good music too. I like the vibe music.
It is very much an enhanced game, and so it's coming from the folks who did Tetris Effect and who did Res Infinite. And I'll probably talk about a lot of this again on PSLW, but it has that sort of aesthetic feel to it, and so yeah, the music is dope. The music is immersive, especially when you're playing in VR. And then the actual gameplay is really cool. It's like Lemmings, where you're trying to lead a group of characters into a thing. And so you have different commands. You're playing as this little ghost dog creature. And it's happening in a 3D space. And so you're going around, you're giving like different directions of, hey, go this way, go this way, go this way. And you're trying to lead these little guys to a door. It's like a light door, and you can tell them to jump, you can tell them to long jump. There's like a float command that'll let them like stay in air longer, and you're basically just trying to solve these fun little puzzles. If you're a puzzle poppy out there, definitely recommend it.
And they have user generated content where you can create these. Do you think you'll get lost in that at all?
I definitely won't make anything because I'm not that smart, but I might try out other people's levels.
Cool.
I'm still very early in the game, and so there's so much there's so much still to play, and it's just a busy time for video games, and so I don't know if I want to eventually get there to where I'm playing other people's levels, but that's right now such a far gone idea. If I get there, if I'm craving more levels, for sure I'll pick up user-created stuff because it seems like the kind of game you can do really cool things with if you want to make your own stuff.
Yeah, I really love the look of this game. I'm excited to play it with all of you when we were at GDC and we were showcasing them here in the studio. And now that it's released, I'm really jazzed up about it. And yeah, lucky for me, Fall Guys last week released creative mode where you can create your own Fall Guys levels. And I got lost in the night making my own Super Slime Climb. I'm excited to see other people's user-generated content, and I can't wait see what they do in humanity. Is going to be dope.
More for out today. We got Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition Return of Rome for PC. Amnesia actually, no, that can't be right? Because Amnesia got delayed.
That got delayed.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
So yeah, not Amnesia. Super Bunny Man for PC, and then Zool Redimensioned for PS4.
Zool.
New dates for you. We got The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails. That launches September 19th in North America and September 22nd in Europe on Switch and PS4. And then Tiny Thor launches June 5th for PC with a Switch version on a later date. Deal of the day for you. PS Plus extra games are up. Those include Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Humanity, Watch Dogs Legion, Dishonored 2 and Death of the Outsider, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Tomb Raider, and more.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty
solid list.
Pretty good.
So what is that coming to? Is that like games with gold, or is that like a Game Pass situation?
It's like a Game Pass situation.
Oh, okay,
Extra is pretty much like the Game Pass.
I wonder what I'm paying for over there because they charge me monthly.
I hope.
I really wonder what
I hope it's not premium.
He's paying for
I
premium.
wonder what I'm paying for on PlayStation because they email me once a month saying
one
we
classic
took funds out of your
PS1 title,
wallet.
and he's like, I'm swiping that card, and then he just fucking forgot about it,
Mike, you're paying the monthly price?
And I have no idea what I'm giving them.
I'm pretty sure you're paying more. Pay the yearly price.
You know.
That's how he rolls.
I got to turn on the console.
You don't even know that you're paying for it.
This is happening.
Pay the monthly price. You're paying way more money than you have to.
Oh, you never know when I've got to go back. You never know.
Some Minecraft?
You never know when I got to go back.
God.
Got to be ready at any moment.
We just need to. Andy, your mic isn't on. You're just talking into nothing.
Money. Oh my gosh.
God.
Those are solid though.
Yeah,
that's
more. And like, there's more to it.
I like hearing that.
Very much like shortened up that list. There's a lot on PlayStation Extra.
Good for them.
Month.
Now,
but yeah, Humanity being the big one.
Can I play it in the cloud? Like, what's the parameters on this? I know we talked about it a long time ago. What is the parameters on that? Just through the console, right?
No, there's cloud functionality.
Okay.
The question, Barrett,
Is it like remote play?
is it premium or extra that you can use cloud with? Do you remember?
Interesting.
Maybe this is the kindoffunny.com/you're wrong thing. There is remote play. I think it's just available on whatever.
Yeah, remote play is available just
Yeah.
like wherever you can download the PlayStation like remote play app. I want to say cloud is, knowing PlayStation, I think it's extra. Like I remember premium, because I remember trying it out when I had premium to try out like the first like 20 minutes of Hollow Knight and then never went back to it.
Everybody in chat is saying premium,
Yeah.
which is wild, actually. That should be an extra feature, but whatever.
You know what else is premium is fucking game trials, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Why would you pay premium to like try out a game?
Listen, all right, it's PlayStation. PlayStation knows how to make great games, and from there, just like we'll figure it out. I don't know. We'll give you
Everything
Spider-Man
else
2.
comes
Here's
afterwards.
Spider-Man 2. Shut the fuck up and play it, and just don't pay attention to the rest of the UI. Just play the Spider-Man 2 and the God of War. All right, you don't see Xbox giving you God of War, do you?
They don't. They're not.
Do they have a good UI? Sure. Do they have Xbox
like the
Game
UI.
Pass? Sure.
Yes.
Do they have a good UI?
Oh, I love their UI. Best UI in gaming.
Actually, don't know.
Okay.
That's gonna get the comments hot right there. If I say that, that'll get the comments red.
I'm not on Xbox enough.
Everybody
main
knows
reasons I
it
hate
too.
turning on
I'll
my
double
Series
down
S.
to that one. Everyone knows Xbox has the best gaming UI.
That's true. Yeah,
Okay,
Andy says the
fuck
best
you,
one is.
Andy.
Andy says the best one is the one you use the most. I 1000% agree with that, actually. Now it's time for kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, where you write in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Nano says Persona 5 has already been made into a short live-action showing as a play in Japan.
Oh,
Well, we're
as a
talking about.
play.
Well, that's a
Talking
play.
about yeah.
We're talking about movies here.
Now, okay, would you two jabronis, as the big Persona fans, would you go to a play if it came?
1000%, yes.
You'd come?
If we were in
Okay.
Japan, that's
Well, let's say they come to
100%
San
one of the
Francisco.
things.
They're on a
Oh,
world
if it's
tour.
San Francisco,
Yeah.
And
They
I
come
think
to your
if
backyard.
they came to LA, that would be the one where I'm like, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
No.
If it was LA and New York, those were the two stops, would you weigh your options?
Well, I will definitely go to LA before New York. Even though I've always wanted to go to New York. I've never been to New York. Actually, that's a lie. I've been to New York for like 4 hours.
Okay, here, like
was on my way to
realistically,
Jersey.
They're not touring that. That's like a Japan-only thing. So it's like Bless and I, we're going on a trip to Japan. We're doing all the hot like tourist spots, and then it's like, oh, they're doing a Persona play. Yeah, let's go see it. Let's get drunk
that would
and
be
go
the
see a
scenario.
Persona play.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think we're going to Japan for the Persona play.
No. That's not like the main thing.
There was an Undertale pop-up cafe in LA a few months ago, and I was sad and then I missed it. I would have maybe visited
We
LA
need
for
more
that.
of those. We need
Yeah.
more cool pop-ups and experiences around the
Yeah.
games. Games marketing, get on it. Figure it out.
Let's see. Nano says a Crazy Taxi movie was already attempted in the 2000s and went nowhere. Like I said, a Crazy Taxi movie is the most video games industry thing that you can make happen.
Get Queen
It
Latifah
makes
on
so
it.
much sense.
Yep.
But Andy says call Taxi Driver. Nano says Ratchet & Clank 2016 was $40 at launch. Appreciate that. Radic, the homie from CD Projekt in chat,
Shout out.
or in You're Wrong says, plus I know what you meant by the UK inventing FIFA, i.e. football, but let's give proper credit to the Canadians from EA Canada who are running the FIFA series since 1993.
Amazing.
Shout out to the Canadians.
Man, shout
Listen,
out to some of those EA teams. making
Anything
some
to
games.
take something away from the Brits. You know what I mean?
I
Mike?
like that. I like
you
that.
know? And then New AJ in chat says, the move that Bless is thinking of is the Walls of Jericho. And yes, he still does it.
It's dope.
And yes, the Jericho Cruise is an annual wrestling event that happens on a boat.
He's on a boat.
They put wrestling on a boat.
On a boat. And then he sings.
It can't be safe. But he sings.
I think if I'm thinking of the right guy, I'm pretty sure he is the
Imagine-
biggest.
Plus, you'd be surprised how much crazy shit goes on a cruise.
Imagine being in the middle of the ocean. You're on a boat. Chris Jericho comes out, gives somebody the Walls of Jericho, and they tap out.
Yes.
But he keeps going. He snaps her fucking leg. And then he stands up, walks to a stage, grabs a microphone, and starts singing to you.
Yeah, him and his band Fozzy is what
I'm
they call
paying
Fozzy.
whatever amount of money I need to get on that cruise. That sounds like an incredible time. Put me on that cruise.
Is that the cruise you'd go on?
No.
Okay. Okay. Is that the cruise?
I don't know if I would ever go on a cruise.
Really? I go
Yeah.
on one.
What's
I
that?
try one. I like that. I
Like
don't
any
know what
cruise?
it is, but I'd try one. I'll give you one. Everything in life gets one. Right, Andy?
No.
Andy says no. Tomorrow's hosts for Kind of Funny Games Daily are going to be me and the one and only Greg Miller. If you're watching this live, remember we're doing something new with YouTube Super Chats right here on KFGD, only on YouTube and the live stream. There's going to be a 30-minute post show where Andy comes through and talks to me and Mike about your Super Chat questions. So stay tuned for that. Remember, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday live right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. Until next time, Game Daily.
And
was a fun
now it's
episode.
time to have a super chat
With a super dude.
I did not even notice that we went 10 minutes over.
with some
No, we were
super
in the Duffy.
dudes.
I think it was all the
Y'all
Chris
were in it.
Jericho
Y'all were
chat.
talking about
Yeah, we're in the
UIs.
Duffy. Oh, that got him fired up, Andy.
Did it?
It always does.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
does.
see the chat.
Controllers and UIs just get people flared up for some reason.
Well, it's also maybe the very like aggressive stance that you have.
Oh, you think I have an aggressive stance compared to one Greg Miller who's just calling out people all the time?
I mean, I think it's less of a here's how I feel, and more of a it fucking is, and you better deal with it.
I mean, it is. It is.
Yeah,
Everybody,
deal with it,
be
brother.
real.
Thanks for watching today, everybody. We are starting our super chat right now with all of our YouTube and Twitch viewers. If you want to leave a message for us to read in here, head over to the super chat section over on YouTube. Question from Al Tribesman says, actually,
an old
that's
one.
from
Yeah,
yesterday.
we haven't got any super chats yet, so we'll let them flow in.
Let the super chats come
now
in.
that the podcast is over, can we talk about cruises really quick?
Before you get there, I want to ask Chad a question. Chad, I'm trying to figure out a definitive headline for this episode of KFGD. Let me know if this is off base. 'Cause
Okay.
the idea I had, and I don't know if we went into the conversation enough to make this the headline, but I was going to go with, is Ubisoft's Star Wars game coming this year? Question mark. Or like, is that?
I don't feel like you guys talked about it enough. I'm
No.
gonna be honest.
Dang, that would have been a good headline.
I know.
Ah,
We can do it over the show. We can do it over.
Let's do it right now. Let's
just
do it.
restart the day.
Restart.
Yeah, use
Big
the
Meg,
use
cool
the
rig edited
use
in.
the recall ability on it.
back to cruises.
I was gonna say this Jericho cruise. That's got to be the smelliest cruise on the planet Earth.
Just a bunch of.
You think so? Over
Sweaty
the Disney
wrestlers.
cruise with little children vomiting everywhere?
Well, I mean, they're not running
Okay.
around with
Peeing
vomit
in
on
the
them.
Infinite
pool?
Corpse. I didn't hear the word Star Wars at all. Let's
Okay,
calm
well, that's
down.
not
All right,
true. That's not true.
stop
Jabroni.
lying to yourself, Chad.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
Okay.
probably got to be this because we're talking like just a lot of adults, and maybe I'm generalizing.
Okay.
but I'm doing like the PAX thing. I'm doing the
Oh,
wrestling
okay,
thing
you're
when
just
people
throwing
go.
it out
A lot of
there,
y'all
yeah.
don't like maybe shower every night like you should.
Shower twice a day.
Not as much deodorant as there should be on this.
love
I don't
deodorant.
like the idea of a cruise. I'll say that.
Okay. You don't want to be trapped on a boat with
Yeah.
thousands of people.
I think it's the idea that you can't get off the cruise.
Yeah.
Like you're here for 4 days, 3 days, whatever it is,
You're locked.
and you're just locked in. Yeah. What if I want to walk to CVS? I can't
I
do
mean,
that.
that's why
Can't do
usually
it.
cruises will make stops just to like give you some time.
I was thinking the Gronkowski cruise with the boys.
Oh,
where it's
yeah.
just pounding booze. Maybe Tom Brady flies in on a helicopter. He don't want to be there for 4 days. He's just there for one night.
Lands on
and
the
then
helipad,
Tom's out. See a TV 12.
shotgunning beers.
Oh man, there's got to be so much keg stands going on at,
so many
at a
keg
Gronk
stands.
cruise. Oh
The
my!
whole family. You're doing keg stands with the whole lineage of drunks.
You know he's got like 7 brothers. They're all jacked
Oh,
out of
yeah.
their mind.
Oh, yeah. I sure
Oh, I
do.
love it. I love it.
Mike, Tears of the Kingdom, where you at with it?
I have now explored the entire map. I've unlocked all of the towers. I have done 22 shrines. Only one shrine, number 23, has stumped me. You guys talked about it on the show yesterday. It's stumping everybody.
Was it the real one?
That's the
Yeah.
double rails. You got to find the balance.
yeah.
I
Very
nailed it
tough.
yesterday. I put together like what the solution was.
Oh,
Maybe a
okay.
little bit too early
I'm gonna
too.
make Barrett do it for me. Then I'm gonna cheese it, just like we did that one time when we were playing
Wolong?
Wolong, and I was like, "Blessing,
Oh, yeah,
you
like,
gotta
dude,
beat this,
beat
dude.
this
I don't
boss
want to
for me."
deal with it."
Please beat this for
But
me.
I have now done the whole map, so I've met the bird people. That's where I'm at.
Oh, okay.
Cute little bird kid.
A little cute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dap up
Little
that
cuties.
kid, and he's like, "Dad, f you. I
Tulin?
got to get out there." You know what I mean?
I love Tulin.
Yeah, little kid. I'm having fun.
MCAP with a $2 super chat.
Thanks, MCAP.
Says, Bless, can you talk more about frame rates?
And it just sickens me to see people online talk about, Zelda, the PS2 game. It looks like a PS2. First of all, there's a lot of great looking PS2 games out there. Have you played Shadow of the Colossus? You know what I mean? Have you played? I forget if Jet Set Radio was on.
Grand Theft Auto
But
3.
like that was that generation. You know what I mean? So like a lot of great looking PS2 games. First of all. Second of all, Tears of the Kingdom does things that your favorite big open world AAA games would only dream about. You can rewind any object. Any object. There's rewind data for every. They're tracking the path of every object in your vicinity. Do you know how fucking? Do you know? That's fucking crazy.
Blessing my frames.
Every object. Interesting.
Show me your favorite open world game, and let me know if the draw distance compares to Tears of the Kingdom.
Tell you what, I'm averaging 57 frames so far on the special Wii U version.
That's cool. Good for
I'm
you.
playing on a Super OLED, and he has 60 frames per second locked.
I'm playing on a day one Switch. Thing's on
I'm
fire.
shocked you haven't gotten an OLED, by the way.
I was really tempted, but then I never made the jump.
Again, I'm saying this as somebody that knows you barely touched the thing. But that's
Yeah,
just,
exactly. That was my issue.
That's
my
the Stoneback
issue.
Mike way. Jim Tacey, $2 super chat, says hype levers for Dodgeball 2.
The movie.
Wait, the movie?
Yeah, they're making a Dodgeball 2.
No way, really?
Yeah.
I don't know
Holy
how
shit.
far along it is, but I do know that I remember hearing that Vince
Vaughn?
Vaughn, I was going to say Vince Gilligan, different person, is up for a Dodgeball sequel.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Are they
I mean,
bringing Ben Stiller back?
The pirate's got to be back.
Yeah,
Everybody loved the pirate.
I think you're right, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
This sounds awful. I'm gonna be
Justin
honest.
Long says Vince Vaughn's Dodgeball 2 pitch is great, but Ben Stiller needs to get on board. It's a funny idea.
He can't.
That's as much as you could say
just
about a
funny
Dodgeball
Same
2.
vibe as Anchorman 2, where
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're brought back to that era, and it's like, oh, maybe
We
should
didn't need to.
left it in that era. You know?
No.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I feel similarly about a lot of prestige sequels to prestige comedies, like
Zoolander 2.
Zoolander.
That one
2,
started off with
Zoolander.
JB, though. Justin Bieber.
Zoolander.
That was a good one.
Like, I think of maybe my favorite comedy of all time, Step Brothers. If they were to make a sequel, it would probably be absolute ass.
Did you ever see Jingle All the Way 2?
Dude. Wait,
They made
two?
a part 2.
They made
No,
it
they
number
did
2.
not. You're
It's
lying.
very tough.
You're fucking
Larry
lying.
the Cable Guy.
You're,
Oh,
Recently-
that's right.
Recently divorced from his wife, has to spend Christmas with his daughter, just him and her.
Would you
Has
believe?
to find a way to make Christmas fun again.
Would you believe that Jingle All the Way is one of my favorite Christmas films?
Come on,
and
you
I
I
was
mean,
like,
it's the
all of
best
us.
one.
one of
all
the
of us.
few VHS tapes I had as a
We
kid.
watched this.
and I
me
used
and the boys.
I used to
We watched
watch. I can't believe I didn't know this existed.
This is a bad movie. We watched.
Holy
it. Really
shit,
bad.
dude! I used to
Real
rewatch there was like a scene where I think it was the main character. Yeah, it was fuck, was it Arnold Schwarzenegger? Was
Yeah.
he it was him fighting a bunch of elves.
And Sinbad, yeah.
That shit was fire.
Yeah,
amazing.
dude.
I used to rewatch
that's-
that scene all the time.
That's one of the best Christmas movies ever. DJ Kenta with a $10 super chat.
Wait,
Thank
over
you.
Elf?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm probably with you.
Yeah.
Those two are on the same tier.
I'll
Like
come
those are
out
both
and fight
S
you
tier.
again, Blessing.
Those are both S tier. I love Elf. I love Elf.
I don't love Elf. I like it, but I've never had the same affinity that it seems everybody
Ooh.
has, where they, you know.
We got some breaking news here.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm still not sure how to break that down, but let me read the super chat real quick.
Yeah.
From DJ Kento says, I've been on a few Disney cruises as an adult. The kids have zones where adults aren't allowed, and there are several adult bars and shows where kids aren't allowed. The food is insanely good, too.
Oh wow, Disney bringing the food. See, I think the food has to be number one. Food and then activities on this cruise ship have to be the 1-2 combo, right? Then we get rooms as well. Rooms got to be decent. I don't want a little porthole.
My favorite band, Coheed and Cambria, every once in a while was, I think right before COVID hit, was doing a cruise tour.
Oh, okay,
where,
that's cool.
I mean, not a tour, obviously. It's just like they're on the boat playing shows with other bands.
Yes.
And that was another one where I was like, that's going to be a top candidate for smelliest cruise ever. Nightlife with a $5 super chat says Street Fighter 6 and Diablo 4 have had extensive betas. Which one launches in a better state? 2 AAA games fully crossed platform.
I was typing down a pop.
You would think
headline.
Diablo, right? Because Street Fighter is going to have a lot of situations with connectivity and button inputs. So I'm not saying it's going to launch in a bad state, but you would say Diablo will probably launch in a better state, and then Street Fighter will have I won't say a rocky start, but we'll have a start and then we'll be better over time.
I can see that.
Right?
I can totally
like
see that.
I would say that. That would be my guess.
Especially because we, like, even in the initial very, very first alphas or whatever it was that Diablo's doing, I feel like it still performed pretty decently. However, Mike, I still can see the inevitable server broken,
of course.
can't enter game, can't launch game, blah, 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 error code. And you're Googling what that error code is. And you're like, I don't know what, it's not out has been long enough for me to even Google this error
Here's
code.
the deal. If we go into another world boss situation and it says level 25 and we get matched up with a bunch of level 11s, I'm going to throw my controller out the window.
You got to carry him. That's where
Don't
you as the
weigh
gamer
me
have to carry
down.
them. What do you think, Bless?
Of like how
Street
they
Fighter
launch.
6 or Diablo 4 having the better, more, I guess, consistent, reliable launch?
I think Street Fighter has the more consistent launch in terms of like network issues. Diablo is just so fucking popular, and I know Street Fighter is popular, but Diablo I think is just gonna have that's that Blizzard audience, dude.
Don't you ever worry, though, about like that weird multiplayer thing that we saw? Like, Andy will know, NBA 2K in the neighborhood. Trying to get on a spot, and your guy's half on the spot, then he goes off the spot, then he goes back on
Street
it.
Fighter?
Are you worried about that with the cabinets, where it's like, oh, no, I'm on this cabinet, but then Blessing somehow got on the cabinet, but I'm on the cabinet, but he's not on
See,
it.
I'm more
I'd
worried
say
about
no
being able
game.
to even get into the server.
I'd say no game operates like 2K. No online game in the last 10 years has felt as bad as 2K Online feels.
The worst.
I think the problem Street Fighter possibly faces is just server space and people just wanting to get in and not being able to get in and having to wait in a similar way that Overwatch did. I feel like Diablo's going to suffer the same thing too. That's the
Yeah.
thing is I think both of them are going to face the same problems. Street Fighter's had so many open betas that I think things on the technical side are going to be fine. Like the idea of like the neighborhood thing of the jankiness of, oh man, no, it's glitching out because I want to get on this machine, but he's on this machine. I don't think that stuff's going to happen as much compared to me logging on and wanting to play and being like, why can't I make it in? I have to wait for 30 minutes before I can play this fucking. I think that'll be more of the conversation.
I'm really worried about the inevitable. Now that I think about it more, I think
Yeah.
Diablo's
And
going to
here's-
have.
Well,
Check-
Diablo out, yeah.
There's also an open beta for Street Fighter this week, and so like they're gonna have time to hopefully figure that shit out. But as we know, that always doesn't happen.
$5 super chat from DJ Kento says, "Is Dumb and Dumber 2 the most disappointing comedy sequel? Which is worse, that or Dumb and Dumberer?
I mean,
Which is the one that had Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels? I mean, they were both awful.
Dumb and Dumber 2. I think Dumb and Dumberer was different.
That
Oh,
was like
see,
a prequel.
That was like the prequel.
But
Yeah.
where they're
have y'all
younger.
ever seen How High 2 with Little Yachty?
No.
That was a
What
bad
was
one.
How high?
How about
You don't know
House
How High
Party
is?
2? You don't know about How High with Method Man and Redman going to Harvard? They
just
smoked their
saying
best friend who
words.
died. They put him in the marijuana plant. They
Yeah.
smoke him. They smoke his ashes. He then gives them all the answers to all the tests.
You've never heard of How High, Barrett? That's shocking.
I've also never heard of How High.
Good movie.
Really?
What?
Yeah, what is that about?
It's a cultural phenomenon.
That's not
It
a.
is.
Cultural phenomenon.
That sounds like a white
It-
man
it-
can't jump type. film.
It's Redman and Method Man, and they go to Harvard.
Oh, you know what? I
mean,
think I have heard of this.
Here's the thing.
You know what?
I've never-
I've seen this like VHS.
Here's the thing: I've never
Cover
watched
for
it, but
You guys-
but I
You
know
gotta
plenty
turn it on
about
and
How
tell you what.
High.
I've definitely seen this
I've
at Blockbuster.
So-
I've seen like clips.
They made a How High 2. House Party 2 sucked as well.
Was
Space
it
Jam.
Redman and Method Man?
No.
Yeah,
It's
that's
Little
what I
Yachty and DC Youngfly from
Really?
what's that? Nick
Wild
Cannon
Out,
show,
Wild Out.
Wildin' Out. Uh-huh.
Wow.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Or at least
Oh,
entertaining.
well.
Maybe not good. That sounds like an entertaining watch.
Okay. I like that.
Did you ever see First Sunday? It's kind of like
Negative.
in that Friday universe.
Okay.
Where they're robbing a church.
Oh.
Because they saw the church got a lot of offerings, so they're like, let's rob the church. Cat Williams is in it.
My dog Nick, $2 super chat, says, "What is an underrated sport?"
Sport.
Underrated? Because I'm going to go off on one that I
Curling.
Cricket.
That's not what underrated
hate.
is.
Cricket. Underrated.
I mean, I just don't know anything about it, and I see a lot of clips on it. I always see a Twitch streamer who I feel like exclusively plays whatever the cricket
Oh, the
game
cricket
is by
game.
EA Sports.
That's dope.
And I just don't know what the hell's happening in
No
that
idea.
in that
No
sport.
idea.
Yeah.
Tour de France. Cycling. Underrated. Cycling's pretty lit. I would also say it was just on my mind.
What about when they roll the potato down the hill? You gotta
Oh.
go catch the potato.
That's the cheese wheel.
Oh, cheese
You know
wheel.
I want
It's
that.
cheese,
You know I
not
wanna
potato.
do that.
Yeah.
Gymnastics is lit.
I will say rugby. Not enough love. Bunch of dudes, no
Lacrosse.
pads, banging into each other. Lacrosse.
A lot of people
is dope.
say rugby is safer.
That's crazy because
And I'll
those dudes are banging.
Well, look, everybody says that rugby is safer than the NFL football. American football, for everybody's going to be like, oh, it's called American football. It's called football over here, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Rugby's safer, Mike, because when you're in the NFL, you have pads on, you're reckless abandon. You're like, I have protection. Let me just go after the zoo and knock the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
When you don't have pads, you are a lot more mindful about how you're taking people down.
Oh, man, because I see him just banging into jabronis. I saw this little dude. He's probably 5'2", little blonde, beautiful dude.
Yeah.
He's just banging into 6'5" giants. It's incredible.
It's a dangerous game out there in Australia.
It's a dangerous game.
Tedious says, did you guys, thank you for the $5 super chat, Tedious says, did you guys see PC Gamer reported Tears of the Kingdom is on emulators already and playable at full speed on most hardware? I have heard of that, but I will call the cops on you if you attempt to do that.
Can you say that one more time? What was it?
The Tears of the Kingdom is emulated already.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to do that. I'm not smart.
It's not, this one, it's not easy. Reynolds, thank you for your $5 super chat, says, trying to decide what laptop to get for business work, a maxed out MacBook M2 or maxed out Windows laptop, looking at Razer laptop with the 40 series. You know what it depends on. Are you trying to play video games? If you're not,
be real with yourself.
Go with a MacBook if you're more comfortable with that OS, if you're more comfortable with that ecosystem. If you're trying to play games, get a Windows laptop, and you're probably going to spend $1,000 less.
And then they're saying this is a work laptop too, right? So it also, like, if you're, depending on what fields you're in, if you, let's say, like for our field, video editing, right? If you want to have like a nice video editing thing on the fly that you're bringing around, I would go Windows. I hate editing on MacBook.
Oh, okay.
Hard to find with a $5 super chat. Says, Blessing, don't tell anyone else of our kind that you haven't heard of How High, please.
Thanks, hard to find.
I apologize.
Cultural phenomenon.
When it comes to
gotta do it for the culture.
When it comes to the movies, you'd be shocked at the stuff I haven't watched.
Cooper with a $2 super chat says, hey guys, y'all miss Madognick's super chat. Was it the one about sports? I thought I read it. Or maybe you typed that in late.
Okay.
Cooper, watch your mouth, all right? Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you
Cooper.
for the super chat to alert us.
Thank you very, very much for your support. DJ Kento, $2 super chat says, Lil Dicky versus Pete Davidson, fist fight, who wins?
Pete Davidson looks like he's lost some fist fights before, so I might go with him because Lil Dicky looks like he's never been in a fist fight.
Yes. Blessing, that's very well said.
Thank you.
And I'm going to go with that. That's very well said.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to do it for all of our super chats today, everybody. Thank you so much for your support here on this super chat post show.
We got 3 minutes left. Can I put one out there?
Yeah, let's keep talking.
Dicky,
let's have some fun.
Right now, there is a white rapper civil war going on.
Oh wow!
Yeah, about
Civil War.
A week or so ago.
MGK and
Jack Harlow put out his new album Jackman, which is more rap focused, right? It's like less poppy than his sound has been.
Great style.
And grow out that hair.
In one of his lines on the album, he says that I'm the hardest white boy out since that guy that rapped about vomit and sweaters, like alluding to Eminem. So he's saying I'm the hardest white rapper since Eminem.
Okay.
And then a few days later, MGK put out a whole freestyle. And in the freestyle, MGK, of course, another white rapper who's been more on the pop punk side recently. But
yes, he has.
Yeah, didn't he leave the game because like he tried to beef with
Eminem ran him out? Yeah.
Yeah, Eminem ran him out, and then like Jack Harlow said that he was the best since Eminem, and then MGK, that was kind of like his white rapper call to arms. He was like, "Oh snap! No, I got to get back into the game.
You got to activate it.
Oh, he's got to get back. Yeah. Don't waken him."
And so he recorded a freestyle video in like his friend's backyard.
I saw that. I like that one.
Yeah, and like in the video, he said that you jacked Drake's whole swag is basically what he said about Jack Harlow, and I'm fascinated because I've never seen this amount of like tension in the white rap community, and I'm waiting to see who else comes out. Like I'm hoping that Lil Dicky drops a verse. I'm hoping that like. I hope we see Eminem jump back into the game.
You think he'll get activated?
I want every white rapper to come out and like start putting out verses against each other.
They're all just fighting each other because they can't actually fight Mac Miller.
Yeah, oh man, I miss Mac Miller, dude. Because if Mac Miller was here, he would be my vote.
He would be clowning out everybody.
He would be my vote. Yeah, bring Asher Roth out from the ether.
Man, remember when he sang about "I Love College," Andy? Then he had one other follow up that wasn't wasn't bad.
Was it Grind?
Maybe.
Get ready, it's a new day. That's what it stood for.
Yeah, he had 2 songs where I was like, "Oh, good for you."
I liked Asher Roth. Asher Roth had an album that came out a couple of years ago that I listened to a lot actually.
Oh.
And I checked on Spotify. Spotify numbers for that album are in like the 10K range.
Yeah.
Not many people are listening,
Sounds
listening
about
to
right.
Asher Roth. I'm the one person listening to Asher Roth.
3 more final super chats before we end our super chat here. Jamal Page, $5 super chat, says, just wanted to say hi and love you guys. Thank you, Jamal.
Thank you.
Hello.
So much.
Appreciate the support.
Somebody-
Game Jumper says, come to Madhouse Comedy Club in San Diego, Gaslamp. Is that like
Self
Gaslight?
promo.
When will we go to San Diego?
Ooh, Action Bronson would destroy those guys.
Can we go to San Diego Comic-Con one day? Hey, San Diego Comic-Con team out there, send us there. We'll have some fun.
I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd
Well,
like
because
that.
we keep hearing, Nick wants to go.
Nick
and-
wants to go. Gary Witta, of
Ooh.
course, is the biggest and the baddest.
Now,
He'll probably go.
Where
Who
would
knows?
Paul Wall end up in that
Oh,
conversation?
man, bro.
You think Paul
His
Wall-
mouth is shining like a disco ball.
I'm putting Paul Wall in top 5. I think Paul Wall would come out and destroy some folks. And Action Bronson.
Colin says, my uncle works for SDCC, and he says it's cool if you come.
Oh, cool.
That's great.
yeah,
all right,
let's go.
we're all going.
Are we making like the Expendables of white rappers right
Yeah.
now? Is that what we're
Is that
doing?
what we're doing?
Somebody
I
in
love
chat
this.
said no Macklemore. No Macklemore. I'm sorry.
And-
Absolutely no Macklemore.
And
I'm still salty from when he won that Grammy from Kendrick.
He made me cry recently. He's got that one.
What do you mean
He's got
recently?
that one song that made me cry.
Was it when he was talking about
Thrift
how
shop?
he thought he was gay in 3rd grade because his room was
I
clean?
don't think it was that, Blez.
Our final one from Nightlife says, did you coordinate hoodies? Yes, we did.
People in chat are saying, "What about Logic? Don't do that to Logic. He's mixed.
He's mixed, y'all. Come on.
Come on."
Come on. Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting us. We'll see you next after on the Kind of Funny stream. So stay here because Greg, Mike, and Greg's mom will be playing like a horse game. See? Why are you losing it?
I mean, we're playing a horse game.
We're playing a horse game. And then if you're a Patreon member, I think we'll be live today. No, we may not be live today with Gamescast. Never mind.
We will not.
Never mind, everybody. We'll see y'all later. Goodbye, everybody.